Once Human just got new patch notes, there is a lot of nerfs, there's a lot of buffs, the meta is gonna change after the patch is done. There's also new wilderness game mode that we will experience. The game is also adding controller support, so hey, you controller player, you can now play it with controller after this update. And actually the best change is server invitations. You'll be able to invite people up to 5 times. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Once Human video. Okay, now let's get into the patch notes one by one. So there's going to be a new animal ranching feature. You'll be able to grow your own animals. A brand new animal ranching feature is now available. Capture and raise animals and build a post-apocalyptic ranch of your dreams. Most animals encountered in the open world, including deer, wolves, sheep, wild boars, bears, rabbits, and crocodiles, can be captured and brought back to your territory to be raised. Even more animals will be made available in the future. Now, it's kind of funny. How is that gonna work? Are we just legit just taming crocodiles in our base? Interesting, developers, interesting. Each animal has different habits and characteristics. You must build special housing for each type of animal and provide the appropriate food. It's like deviations literally, except it's animals. Once an animal is tame enough, you'll be able to collect skins or meat from them. So like, do we just kill them? I guess we'll see how that's gonna work. Some animals are aggressively by nature and can even help you defend your territory against deviant invasions. Okay, and an upcoming September update will even allow you to breed animals to obtain rare and unique critters. This is gonna be a cool feature. Like if you don't wanna go outside hunting for deers, rabbits, you can just have an animal farm, you know, chilling next to your base. I'm not sure how we're gonna be able to fit that farm. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that one, sir. Next up, we have revamped fishing system. Since launch, we've received a lot of valuable feedback concerning the fishing minigame. Players have reported being unable to catch fish or confusion regarding the fishing controls. The waiting time has been reduced and we've increased the number of fish each fish tank can hold. We've also added lots of rare new fish type. Let's be honest, fishing is annoying in this game, so it's nice that they are buffing it, making it easier to fish. Because honestly, sometimes you just fish and the fish just despawns or just disappears. Like, what is that? The new fishing minigame is a battle between your stamina and the fish's energy. The tension on the fishing line is displayed in the center of the screen. You must reel in the fish and as much as possible while keeping the fishing line from snapping. When the fish runs out of energy, you have successfully caught it. Optimize the fish types, reduce the waiting time required when fishing or reeling in a fish. Added new rare fish. They added lots of new fishes. You can see them over here on the screen. New wilderness game mode. This is going to be a new PvP mode, I guess. Sproutlet Conquest, exclusive to Evolution's Call. So this is only on PvP server and this doesn't exist in PvE server. Opening time is every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4:20 p.m. server time. Now, I kind of don't like that these events are happening on a time. So you're supposed to get online to participate in that event. I honestly haven't even participated in the Sproutlet Rosetta event. I did it only once. So I don't know. I don't know if it's good that they're making these events time-based. Locations: a random settlement in Chalk Peak, Lone Wolf Waste, or Blackheart region. That's where it will spawn. The rules are, this game won't last for 20 minutes. Sproutlets will start spawning 5 minutes after the event starts and can be obtained through various mining methods. Metas in the event zone will be in PvP teams. During the event, the more Sproutlet you carry, the more Sproutlets you will drop when you get killed. Rewards: metas can exchange Sproutlets for Sproutlets at a 1-to-1 conversion rate with Nissa at the camp. Same stuff as the cargo event, except you're gonna be, you know, it's just a different event. This one's a funny one. Ancient One's Trial. People have reported seeing the Ancient One descend upon the highest mountain in Chalk Peak. The Ancient One Trial awaits any meta who can climb to the top of that tall mountains. Board the Ancient One and face a trial that will test your determination and courage. Metas who earn the Ancient One's recognition shall receive lots of rewards. Call upon your most trustworthy companions and attempt the Ancient One's Trial together. I guess you're able to actually get inside of the Ancient One. Although I'm not really sure on this. I've never seen this before. Sounds interesting. Really interesting. Next up, we're getting into the juicy part. The actual mods explained and finally mentioned in the game. So, mod conversion. This is going to be important. Mod conversions is unlocked when you reach level 40 in the Novice season. When you enter a non-Novice season. So we're currently in a Novice. I don't know how you pronounce this word. Novice, Novice, whatever. We're basically in this season right now. And as soon as you reach level 40, they will unlock. So after the patch is done, we will unlock this future. So it's not going to be in the new scenario. It's either after you reach level 40 or it's either in a new scenario. This will already exist in the new scenario. So let's say you're a new player, you go to the newest scenario, which is going to be season 2. This mod conversion system is already going to be there. The mod conversion function can be accessed from the upper right corner of the mod backpack. If we go in the game, press O, click mods. Here you can see mod conversion. So how this is going to work is extra gear mods can be disassembled at disassembly bench. Mod parts from disassembling can be used to enhance mods and other functions. That's literally what it is right now. With these weapon and gear mod parts, we used to enhance our mods. But legendary rarity mods that have not been enhanced can be exchanged for legendary rarity mods with selected core effects through mod conversion. You can convert 6 unenhanced legendary mods into a legendary mod with a main attribute of their choice. The main attribute, again, is a core effect. You know, when you hover your mouse, the core effect. It's fire rate plus 10%, blah, blah, blah. This one gives us elemental damage plus 10%, HP is above 90% plus 10%. Additionally, that is a core effect. You will basically choose unenhanced 6 legendary mods. So it will be like boom, 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 boom. There you go. These ones are unenhanced, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these 6 unenhanced gold mods will be converted to a random mod of your choice. So you'll be able to select the core effect of that mod. Let's say you want to get a deviation expert, well, you'll be able to get that. Now, mods obtained via conversion may contain basic suffixes, non-violent precision, or deviant energy. Deviant energy, by the way, is talents. This is a bad translation. It's supposed to be called talents. As you can see, resist advantage, talents. And talents come with elemental and status damage. So that's basically just deviant energy suffix. If 4 of the 6 mods used for the conversion contain the same suffix, the converted mod is guaranteed to have that suffix. So what this means is that if you use 6 unenhanced mods and it has, let's say, 4 talents, you will be able to choose the core effect of that mod and you will have the same substats. Basically, talents. It will be called talents with your own core effect that you want, which is actually insane. It's gonna be so great. You'll have to do less mod farming and you'll be able to just convert your mods. If you're farming mods right now, stop disassembling them. I literally was about to make a video of the mistakes you shouldn't do, and that tip was just to never disassemble your mods because mods play a huge role in this game. So this is assuming that a converted mod is able to have their suffix. For example, Lucky 7 cannot have the precision suffix and Embers cannot have the frost vortex suffix. So this is what's gonna happen. If you mix in 3 mods with frost vortex and 3 mods with precision, then you won't get that suffix. It has to be 4, as the game says. If 4 of the 6 mods, 4 is the minimum you need to get guaranteed suffix when converting. So do note, don't make that mistake. This one, the converted mods attribute levels depend on the attribute levels of the 6 mods used by the conversion. So if you use, let's say, one is a godly tier rolls on one mod. So let's say you have a mod that is 4 gold substats and the rest are gray. The game is gonna basically use these 6 mods and just divide it in between. So if you use 4 gold mods and the rest 5 are gray, if the mod would probably turn out to be blue, blue, green, green or something. I don't know. But basically, if you used 6 mods that are gold stats, then obviously the mod that you will get will be gold. If you used purple 6 mods, the outcome of the main mod will be purple substats. But if you mix it in with green, green, blue, blue, then you will probably get a blue mod on the end. Or if you mixed in purple, purple, blue, green, then the final result would probably be purple, green, green, blue or something. You know, it's just, we're gonna work like that. Now we have controller support. Once Human now supports game controllers. Experience the game in a different way with your favorite controller. Yay! Aim assist, guys. The game will automatically detect your controller's button layout. Okay, so I'm not gonna read through this. Once controller gets released, I will make a video about it. So that's literally it. Cross-character sharing for paid content. Now, cross-character sharing for paid content is now officially available. Paid cosmetics and premium currencies such as Chrisgin can be shared by all characters under the same account in the same region. For more information, refer to the Once Human cross-character sharing rules for the same region. So if you swapped region, you will lose them. So let's say you bought Chrisgins, the premium currency, which you use to buy skins. It will be only in the region you are. So if you are in European server, then if you make a new character in European server, let's say server 1, and then you make a server 10 or server 50, these ones will stay and all your skins will be cross-platform in the same region server. However, if you go to a North America server or Chinese server, I believe that these ones will not stay, which kind of makes sense because different regions have different prices of skins, but kind of sucks though. Next up, server invitations. If a server is full, players already on the server can find their special invitation code on their player info screen, which can be accessed via the menu. They can then share this special invitation code with their friends. Friends will receive the special invitation code, can use it to enter the server even if it's already full. Note, as servers have restricted capacity, there is still a limit to the number of players who can join each server using special invitation codes. Once a server reaches this limit, no more players may may join it even if they have a code. Hence, it is recommended that you invite your friends as soon as possible. Each player can invite up to 5 friends. If the server reaches a cap, will be able to invite only max 5 players. Seasons, we already read that. If you want to know more about the seasons, I made a completely video, all info about the seasons. All you need to know is that seasons right now are not released yet, and I believe the scenarios will come in September. So if your server reaches phase 6 right now, you will have nothing to do for 20 days until they release the scenario for PvP servers. There's going to be a new skin, very cool. Look at that teddy bear right there. We got a new Pyroglide cosmetic skin. This is literally, they're just literally adding skins from Chinese server. This is not a new skin. These skins already been there, but cool to see them in here. There's going to be some new events here. By the way, I will have the patch notes pinned in the comments, so if you want to read them yourself, feel free to click on the link. Gameplay optimizations, the Prime War, reduce the cooldown timer of the Prime War to 5 minutes, recategorize the Prime War's Gatling cannons and turrets as special buildings. They no longer use up the same construction limits as the other defensive installations. Added new time limits for demolishing buildings and facilities in the Prime War. After the time limit is up, buildings may be demolished by other metas. Materials used will be returned. This is nice, prevents griefing kinda. Added a new protection mechanism that prevents all buildings from being demolished by other metas once the boss phase of the Prime War begins. Added a on-screen display of the durability of starred facilities in the Prime War. Territory purification now. Reduce Deviant HP and the damage they deal to buildings and base defense modes such as territory purification and workshop defense. Really did not need this nerf, but I guess people just are doing not enough damage to kill them. So, by the way, if you do this solo, the enemies are easier to kill. If you do purification with 4 people, the enemies can become harder to kill. But optimize the territory purification tutorial task. Okay, so I'm not gonna read this. Next up is other adjustments. Slightly increase the length of high-level cargo conquest matches. That's nice. Cargo events are going to last longer instead of go there 3 minutes shooting pew pew and it's done, you know, too quick. If a meta is defeated while carrying a chaotic cortex, the chaotic cortex will no longer drop as Stardust Flowers, but as a chaotic cortex model that can be more easily noticed by their metas. So you'll just see that it dropped a rock, so that means, you know, they dropped an Echo Stone. Territory construction optimizations. Construction mode now has a grid alignment system that displays a grid map on your territory. I cannot explain it to you guys how amazing that is. Do you know how you place foundations and you cannot place it on the very edge of the map? As you can see, my foundations are placed on the very edge because when I started the game, your 4 foundations that you get at the start are placed in the center of the territory. So it had 4 wood foundations and I just extended it to the edge of the territory. But now you'll be able to have a grid and probably make it snap. So these perfect pixel foundations will be able to be reached on the edge of the territory and go all straight like this. So if you try to place it manually and eyeball the foundation on the edge of your territory, it's going to be sucky. But with this change, Jesus, this is going to be so good. This makes me so happy, man. This is so good. Grid alignment mode allows you to place foundations and facilities on the foundation or floor more neatly. The rotation angle is fixed at 45 degrees, while in grid alignment mode, foundations can be raised or lowered by half a wall's height, while in grid alignment mode. You can disable grid alignment mode to return to the default freeform construction mode. When the season enters its settlement phase, your personal territory and your vehicle's mobile territory will be automatically saved as a house blueprint for use in the new season. So you won't have to save it yourself. It will be already there saved for you. When the new season starts, just press B, right click, house blueprint, and you will just have your blueprints here. You just click on it and you'll be able to build it just like this. House blueprints can now save wallpapers and building cosmetics. When previewing a house blueprint, you can now filter the visibility of facilities. Facilities such as brewing barrels and fuel refineries now display the correct input to output ratio. Nice, fixed. You can now easily disconnect electrical wires and water pipes from the water pipe management screen. Your backpack will now become invisible when interacting with certain furniture items. When crafting gear, materials for semi-finished items will now be automatically added if you have the required quantities. So that means if you craft something, it just automatically goes in your backpack without having you to collect it, I guess. Now, Deviant optimizations. Starting from the second season, the opposing factions shall face a new challenge, the Super Anomaly. Due to perpetual exposure to aberrant forces, the enemies on the continent have gained new powers and extreme resilience. Luckily, they also come with the new weaknesses. Exploit those vulnerabilities and defeat them to earn rewards. Location: larger strongholds in hard and pro dungeons. So that's going to be in hard and pro dungeons. From the second season though, not from the first season. Super anomaly types: void, phase, balance, coherence. We'll see about that. Countermeasures: specific type of damage or abilities obtained from the cradle. Slightly increase the HP of low and mid-level deviants in the novice season. Deviants in the Nova season now pose a larger threat and deal more damage. Deviants are these purple looking things. They're not zombies. Great ones, Ravenous Hunter, Treant, Araxium, Shadowhoon, and Forsaken Giant are no longer considered deviants and cannot be affected. Okay, we'll get to this later. The Cradle will still work, they just fixed the tile for it basically. Optimize the blast radius and warning indicator of Vulture Bomber. Okay, I guess this is for the NPC AI. Improve the alertness and attack logic of Maniacs and Gnovers on higher difficulties. So they're a little bit more smarter now, I guess. They're still stupid though. Like, come on. Fix the AI in the game already. Fix the issue where deviant corpses would still have hitboxes, causing them to obstruct the player's shots. Oh my god. You know when you kill an enemy and let's say the body is here and then you're shooting an enemy right there and the deviant's body is blocking your shot, so it just literally eats your shot. That is finally fixed in the next patch. Combat optimizations, balance adjustments. We've noticed some balance issues during the Nova season and we'll address them in the following sections. Oh boy, different builds have different cradle trigger conditions, especially in PvP. So we've adjusted the difficulty of triggering certain cradles to ensure more balanced gameplay across different builds. Deadly combo. Before, after hitting a weak spot with bullet effects, bounce and shrapnel, bullet effect damage plus 25% for 3 seconds. So it's gonna be this one. It's 3 seconds. Now it will be 4 seconds. So after triggering bullet effects, yep, it's gonna be just increased by a second. Then there's transient impact. Before, after triggering a power surge damage plus 25% for 3 seconds. This is the buff. Gives you plus 25% power surge damage after you proc power surge for 3 seconds. So now it's changed to after defeating an enemy and you will get 25% power surge. And shock elemental damage plus 18% for 15 seconds. It's kind of a nerf, but also like a little bit of a balance, you know? But still, it's a huge nerf because this cradle buff is no longer going to give you power surge damage as soon as you proc it like that. You'll have to kill the enemy. So kind of a sad change for MP7 users. For power surge users, it's still gonna be strong though, but MP7 will be used less now in PvP. Everyone literally uses Jaws, and also we'll get to Jaws later. We have some interesting meta changes in the new patch. The current PvP scenario have overly powerful damage reduction builds. The prolonged knockdown times negatively impact the PvP experience. Thus, we've adjusted the cradle's damage reduction stats accordingly. Agility. Before, after rolling, damage reduction 15% for 4 seconds. Now, after rolling, weapon damage reduction plus 15% and status damage reduction plus 15%. Basically, what damage reduction does is it reduces your overall damage by 15%. While weapon is going to reduce your damage by bullets, crits, weapon damage, and status damage reduces only unstable bomber, burn, frost vortex, basically everything that procs and has a special effect or keyword. So like a MP7 power surge, for example. Brawl boost. Before, damage from humans minus 20%, effect halved after defeating a human player. Now, damage from humans minus 20%, effect halved after damaging a player. So you will now receive more damage by 10% as soon as you hit an enemy. Before, it used to be like if you down an enemy, you will get 10% less damage reduction. So that's a nerf right there, I guess. They're making you less tanky, I guess, so people die quicker in PvP. Old Huntsman boots are designed to simplify player controls, but these boots are too powerful in PvP, so we slightly reduce their effectiveness in PvP. Before, after triggering the bullseye, the next one bullet will count as a weak spot hit, even if it doesn't hit the weak spot. Weak spot damage plus 30% for enemies affected by the bullseye. The last part is not changed. Now, after triggering the bullseye, the next one bullet hitting a marked target will count as a weak spot hit, even if it doesn't hit the weak spot. Let's talk about this Doombringer Wildfire AWS change. So right now, how these boots work is you proc bullseye, boom, I shot a target, I procced bullseye, the target got marked. Now, if I shot any different enemy, let's say there's a Bobby here, standing here, there's Johnny here, shoot Johnny, Johnny receives weak spot damage because we procced bullseye on the target. Now, after the patch, how it's gonna work is like this. I'm gonna shoot the target, boom. I marked him, we procced bullseye. There's Bobby, there's Johnny. I'm shooting Johnny. My weak spot damage is not gonna count for Johnny because he's not marked. Johnny also has to be marked for him to receive that weak spot damage from these boots. So basically now, if you shoot a target and then swap a target, you will have to proc that target that you swap to, and you will have to mark them. If the target doesn't get marked, you will not deal weak spot damage to them. And by the way, as soon as you deal that one weak spot hit, then you will have to re-proc bullseye on them, mark them again. So basically, even if they're going to be marked and you don't proc bullseye on them, the weak spot hit will not count. So that's how it's going to work. It's kind of a big nerf. AWS is going to be a little bit worse after this patch. Doombringer is also going to be a little bit worse. It's still usable, but the only weapon that is not affected by this is Wildfire. It did not receive any nerfs. Well, the boots do nerf Wildfire though. Next up is deviation buffs. I'm not going to read through them. Yeah, they're kinda eh. Next up is melee weapon balance adjustments. Certain melee weapons like the Scourge and Lang melee weapon balance adjustments. So I'm not gonna read through the melee. If you guys want to, the patch notes will be in the description. It's basically just melee over here. Skipping straight to recurve crossbow. Before, a hit on the weak spot will inflict the bullseye on the target and all weapons will gain crit rate plus 30%. They changed it to 15% crit rate. So when you mark a target with crossbow, you will be getting just 15%. That's a rip for Scar users, but it's still gonna be a good weapon to use for bossing. So what they changed with this compound bow, which is the gold crossbow, is it will basically unstable bomber can deal crit hit and cause targets to lose balance. So if you hit an enemy with a crossbow at max stacks, it will trigger the unstable bomber. It could be a crit and the target will stagger. You know when you get shot by Jaws and then your character does like, it just gets like pushed away or something. That's what's gonna happen with this crossbow. This crossbow might be good actually. We will need to test that now after this patch. After each shot, unstable bomber damage multiplier plus 3%, stacking up to 6 times. If you miss, the stacks are halved. Okay. Every weak spot hit has a 40% chance to automatically reload 1 crossbow bolt. Okay, they're buffing insanely this crossbow. Damn. Okay, so if you hit a weak spot, you have a chance to reload 1 crossbow bolt. This is gonna be interesting. Really interesting. The defeat affix of Jaws doesn't match its trigger difficulty, making Jaws slightly weaker than expected. Thus, we've adjusted its trigger, method, and duration. Before, after defeat, blast elemental damage plus 30% for 12 seconds. If we go into the game and check Jaws, it literally says, after defeating an enemy, blast 30% for 12 seconds. Now it's gonna be after a weak spot hit, blast elemental damage plus 30% for 8 seconds. So instead of 12 seconds, we get 8 seconds, but you just have to hit a headshot and you will get more damage for Jaws. I mean, Jaws isn't that broken, but it's just annoying to deal with. But basically now, if you run a Fateful Strike on your helmet, let's say you have a Fateful Strike, which is this, you can see what it does. Cannot deal weak spot damage, crit rate plus 10%, and crit damage plus 30%. If you equip this mod and you deal a weak spot hit, you will do the same damage as you do in a body. But that doesn't matter because after the patch, if you hit the weak spot with Fateful Strike, you will get plus 30% blast damage. So you will just need to hit the head. You just go boom, hit the weak spot, boom, and kill Bobby and Johnny. So Jaws is getting buffed. Jaws is already meta. Jaws is gonna be the weapon after this patch, basically. Next up, Doombringer. As a double-barreled shotgun, Doombringer is designed for close combat, but its ability to mark targets with the bullseye from afar is too prominent. We've lowered the probability of marking targets at long range while offering more rewards for close combat. So balance change. It definitely got nerfed though. So the compensation isn't going to help here. Before, it was 65% chance to trigger the bullseye on hit. Now it's 30% chance to trigger the bullseye on hit far away. And it's 80% chance when within 5 meters. There you go. That's 5 meters. So if a target is there, you have 80% chance to trigger bullseye. Honestly, it should have been like 8 meters. Or like, yeah, the gun should have been 8 meters. 7 to 8 meters, but not 5, dude. 5 is too close. So if you shoot your shotgun this far away, or if you shoot your shotgun at 6 meters, like here, you will have 30% chance to trigger bullseye, bro. You have to be in that 5 meter range to have 80%, which is... I don't know, but we'll see, you know. You literally have to be kissing targets, dude. Since Grade 1s are no longer deviants, we've adjusted the effect of deviation handling in Nova's season. Cradle to be better focused on critical targets. So this is the Cradle, as you can see, Deviation Master. So basically what it's going to do is when you summon your Deviation, it's just going to do 50% more damage to Elite mobs and Grade 1s. So this is not changed. Just that it won't affect deviants. So these purple looking zombies that you shoot, and this Cradle buff is going to get nerfed in Season 2. Having the deviation fight alongside grants damage 25% against bosses and elites. Also, developer notes, with the test dummies being deviant units, the deviation handling adjustment will reduce damage output on a wooden stakes when deviations are present compared to previous versions. No other stats were adjusted. Some players also noted low damage from the Last Valor against test dummies. This is because the Last Valor belongs to penetration type and deals reduced damage against the test dummies. Bro, so We plan to have more types of test dummies for you to choose. Thank you. Finally. So what this meant is that the test dummy is a little bit buggy. So take a look at this. I'm gonna take out my scar for you and let's just put it on. The scar has no mods and no armor, nothing. I'm completely naked. All cradle is unequipped. So take a look at this. We have 383 damage with our scar. The scar does 307 damage, but we have 383 because we have plus 25% attack. We're supposed to do 383 to the dummy though. Look how much damage we do. 364. That is because the dummy has 5% damage reduction. So the calculations are applied. Our scar is 307 plus 25% to that 307. It's supposed to do 383, but 383 minus 5% is 364. That's why we're doing 364 damage to the dummy. It has 5% damage reduction. Now, if you take a look at this weapon I have, a bounce weapon I have, take a look at the damage. So its damage is 348, right? But we're gonna do 435 damage. The reason for that is because if I just go to gear, if I click on the weapon, you can see impact deals more damage against protocell. Impact has 25% more damage. It doesn't show the numbers. I know it because I know I've been a closed beta tester. This does 25% more damage. Impact does 25% more damage against protocell. If we take this 348 and multiply it by 1, because 1 is 348, and then add 25, because 25 is 25%, and we will get 435. So, dude, the impact buff is working on the dummy, but MP7 has suppression, deals more damage against deviants. It's not working, because look at this. I'm gonna shoot, we have 269 damage, and if I shoot once, we do 256. If we take a look at our 269, 269 minus 5%, and we will get to 255.55, which is rounded to 256. So the dummy has a 5% damage reduction for no reason. I don't know why. And as you saw, the suppression damage that this gun has doesn't do 25% more damage. So if you're testing the dummies and you're wondering, what is wrong with the damage? What's happening? That's because it has 5% damage reduction for no reason. Next up, battle stats bug fixes. Fixed an issue where Squidward's weapon damage bonus remained even after switching weapons. Fixed another issue when Squidward's didn't grant a damage boost when hitting an ally with bounce. Huh, okay. Bounce, by the way, who uses bounce? Well, I do. Fixed an issue where Doin's cloak applied double damage bonuses after his frozen effect ended. Cool. Nice that I don't know about these glitches, man. Fix some stats errors with certain purple mods. Obliterate, Super Bullet, Soul Reaper, Blaze Blessing. Fixed an issue where the portable territory wasn't functioning properly. Fixed stats display and activation errors in Most Wanted. Fixed an issue where Hammerhead could damage the user when attacking test dummies. Wow. Fixed the incorrect duration of the tracking bullet buff. I'm not sure what this is. From calibration blueprint mod, attributes, set attributes cause reload speeds to exceed 100%. Now, I'm not sure how this is gonna work, but on my shotgun, I have a reload speed plus 150%, so I guess maybe that was a description error, or it was exceeding more than it was needing. You know, the reload speed is supposed to apply to the base chance of the reload speed bonus, but what it's probably doing is applying more than it needs to, so that was just a bug, I guess. I hope this doesn't nerf Doombringer reload speed, though. If it does, rest in peace, GG. New additions, introduce multiple new calibration blueprint categories, which will be available in the Season 2. So, Season 2 only. I'm not going to read through this because it doesn't matter. I will make a separate video for it. Added 2 mod suffixes. Resonance suffix increases sustained damage output when dealing V-spot, crit, and elemental damage. Available in pants and gloves in the Prime War. Battle suffix increases weapon damage and status damage resistance in PvP. Available on tops and shoes. Redeemable in the Sproutless shop in the Evolution's Call. This is for PvP server only, so you will get like special, you know, stats on your tops and shoes with the suffix. Battle suffix is going to be called, I guess. Adjusted the acquisition method for keyword suffix mods. I guess you'll be able to obtain the mods easier with the suffix or something. Keyword suffix mods will now be available through public crisis events, with their quality improving as the season progresses. So if you're in phase 4, the chances are going to be lower. If you're in phase 6 or phase 5, you know, it's going to like increase the chance to get better mods. Well, mostly the rest is just deviation stuff, fixes, and like bug fixes are not really that important. Now, you might be wondering what's going to be the meta after the patch. The meta is going to be this. This is gonna, I mean, it's already meta, but this gun's gonna be even better. As well as MP7 is gonna be nerfed because of Power Surge Cradle. You will lose 25% damage. Well, except if you kill an enemy, you will gain it back. But, you know, now it's gonna be, instead of proccing it, you will not get that 25% damage anymore. Same with Shotgun. Corrosion is gonna be a little bit weaker. Doombringer is literally nerfed to the ground with the meter marking stuff, 30% to trigger instead of 65 and 80% if you're on 5 meters close. AWS is nerfed hard because you will basically need to change or swap your weapon and hit your first shot to trigger bullseye, and then your next hit will be weak spot. So, you know, no more spamming with these boots. It will still be okay-ish, but one thing I don't like about this game is that the developers are nerfing stuff. It's okay that they nerf the boots, I like that, but why aren't they not buffing guns like, you know, let's talk about bounce, like can we get a buff to bounce or something? Just do something with this gun, or like do something to guns that are not used by other people. Maybe someone's using bounce. I've been using bounce for like 3 days now. I'm trying to like make it good, and it doesn't do good in PvE, man. So they need to like do something with bounce. Also, bounce only has like one cradle perk. Like this is not bounce, this is just shrapnel. So this is bounce and shrapnel, so I don't know why this doesn't have a bounce perk. Shrapnel gets 2 perks for like why? But why does shrapnel get 2 perks here? Why does power surge get 2 perks but bounce gets 1? Why does burn get 2? Like, where is bounce perks, man? But yeah, the guns I recommend using after the patch is Wildfire with AWS. AWS is going to be a little bit weaker, so don't rely on it too much. It's still going to be for long range, you know, but Wildfire doesn't really get a nerf. The stats didn't change. The only nerf is the boots changing this pistol. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of people running Jaws now. All you'll need to do is just hit the weak spot and you'll get 30% damage increase, dude. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. After the patch drops, I will try to probably make a Jaws build, the best one out there, of course, for you guys out there. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace out.